Yo, what is going on, everyone? Another week, another moment where Twitch absolutely botches it. Twitch absolutely falling apart at the seams right now. This one's a little interesting. Kackis? What? Kackis? He's MIA. True Vanguard's not even here. True Vanguard's gone, and then Kackis isn't even here for the stream. He's MIA. He doesn't have a headset on. He can't even hear me. Oh my god. This is Scott. He's probably not even recording his audio right now. He's not even recording his audio. It's okay. We are scuffed gamers here. Unfortunately, True Vanguard, he doesn't have any internet right now. He's not going to get it back for a few days, unfortunately. So Ryan will be here next week. It just unforeseen circumstances. So we've got the scuffed setup. If you're wondering why it looks so scuffed, it's because the way it's configured, if we don't have Ryan in the call, it jumbles everything up. So I had to make this one last minute, right before the stream.
Yeah.
But we have our favorite guy here.
Yeah, and now I only have to interrupt one person. I'm going to get even more airtime, bro. This is perfect for me.
It's going to be nice.
It's going to be nice. I love how our stream is just so scuffed anyways. I don't think anyone even noticed.
And he never talks anyways, so it's like no one will know that Ryan's MIA. They're just like, oh yeah, this is a typical episode with KackisHD, and then sometimes Mike says something here and there, but not that much.
Right?
Hey,
yeah,
look at
exactly.
that. Chris with an 11-month Elite Gamer sub. Thank you so much, Chris. We appreciate that. We want to just call that out.
Thanks for adding to our millions of dollars that we're clearly making from streaming like everybody else.
Well, actually, we're going to get into that. All of the revenue, pretty much every single streamer in the world, if you wanted to, you could search up their revenue that they made between 2019 and 2020. And your boy is lower down on the list than I would like to be, but that's okay. That's okay. So it's been funny. If you guys have watched Squid Game, a lot of people are referring to themselves as like their number. It's pretty funny. Anyways, we're going to get in with some Genshin talk. New World absolutely blowing up. Battlefield, Twitch, and Gearbox stuff. What?
I got a question for you. So if I was to start my recording right now, because I forgot for the first 5 minutes, do you think that would be fine? Or
that's fine. You know what? At this point, whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So let's get into the content. Genshin made $2 billion or more.
Yeah, like let's put that in perspective. People are complaining about like your favorite streamer making $1 million over 2 years. Genshin made $2 billion just on mobile in the first 2 years. So not counting PC, not counting PS4. I think is on Xbox yet.
No, I think just PS4.
Still though, like just mobile, just people on their phones, $2 billion in 1 year. Insane.
Okay, Kackis's audio is down. I turned you up in.
Okay,
it should be okay.
Now we're good.
Yeah,
all
it should be. Sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah, so like that's insane, and all the while they make $2 billion and they can't afford to give people a free 5-star character for the anniversary.
I know, and the crazy thing is so these numbers are getting released. You know, billions of dollars, the big money, but then on top of that, they also just announced another new game. It's called Honkai Star Rail. So their first game, they've got other games, but there's Honkai Impact, which is essentially the bones of Genshin Impact. Like very similar combat. It's these levels that people load into. They've announced big updates for that game. They've never stopped developing that game. They announced like another open world thing within Honkai Impact. And then they built Genshin, that's its own game, and now they're doing another game, which is apparently like some sort of sequel, and it's apparently open world, but turn-based battles. So maybe like a Tales of Arise type thing.
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy to me, because it's like, dude, like, Bungie is developing like 20 IPs or whatever they're doing, and their first new IP is coming out on 2025, right?
Yeah.
So, like, we kind of have the same debate going on here.
Yeah.
I listen to myself to make sure the volume is good. The volume is good. So
Okay.
yeah, like this is crazy because the same thing is going on in Destiny, where like you wonder, it's like, okay, you're making a new game. You're making a new game. They already announced the name. They already announced what it's going to be. It's like, doesn't the old game, doesn't Genshin Impact need support? Doesn't it need more content? Doesn't it need it seems kind of like they're almost like they're done with it and they're on to the next thing. Not that they'll like not support Genshin Impact, but it's like the main complaint from a lot of players, especially you, has been like lack of content.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if they're not doing content now, and now they have a whole new game they're gonna do, is that gonna get even worse?
Right. Or do they take $2 billion and hire 800 more devs, like an entire new team? I don't know. Because, I mean, Bungie's been hiring like crazy and putting people in new roles and stuff. And, you know, maybe they're making it work.
But maybe they have a different mindset. Maybe they're like basically like a pump and dump. They're like, milk everything for Genshin it's worth and move on to the next game.
Oh, bro, I would believe it. I would believe it with how little long-term systems they've created. And I kind of snapped the other day on a video and I was just like, honestly, at this point, we just have to accept that Genshin is mini games and super basic. And if you want to just run around the world, that's what you do. And that's all it will ever be. And I don't know, maybe the new game will be pretty sweet. I honestly will probably cover it if it does look cool or if it is good, because, you know, same company making a game, very similar audience. It's pretty much, I mean, why wouldn't I at least dabble with it and check it out? This time, I'm going to whale again, though, and I'm going to have a free-to-play account and a whale account, because if it is like Genshin, I'll run out of content if I'm only doing the one, so I'll probably dabble with both and just check out the game. But honestly, I think with my channel, I might stick with games like that long term. There's one called Blue Protocol. It's kind of a Genshin looking MMO made by Bandai Namco. So, you know, they've done like Dark Souls and things like that. And so maybe that'll be good. But I think honestly, because of the growth from Genshin, I'm like an anime channel now, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I've got to make like a new channel for Destiny or something like that. So
yeah. Mtashed waifu and then Mtashed Destiny.
Yeah, truly.
But like, it's so crazy because we were talking earlier before the stream too. It's like they announced this new game, right? Pretty recently, I think, right?
Yeah.
And they couldn't have picked a time where their community is less thrilled to announce a new game. Like, when you announce a new game, you probably want goodwill from your current audience. You want everyone to be like, yo, my favorite game is Genshin Impact, and the developers are making another game. I'm gonna love this. But right now, just because they were so greedy with the whole like anniversary thing, they're announcing this new game. I don't think people are gonna be super thrilled by it. Like, obviously, it'll probably still do well, but I'm sure like people are like in the midst of flaming you say there was a scheduled tweet that comes out flamed, a new scheduled tweet flamed. So then they try to announce this new game, they're just gonna get flamed as well.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you've seen what this company does. Like, are you gonna trust that new game?
Literally,
I don't know, because there's also like a ton of white knights out there, and there's a lot of people that are oblivious to it. They just enjoy the game. And like, if you just shut off your brain and you look at what Genshin offers as a free to play game, it's good. Anyone who asks me about it, I rage about it because like I want long-term grind and everything. But if people ask me if I would recommend it, yeah, I would recommend it any day of the week. As a free-to-play game, there is a lot of great content in it. So, anyways, Kackis is clipping and fuzzy at the compression point in his mic. Well, we'll try to solve it. Well, this is scuffed setup today, boys.
Yeah, hold on. I might sound better just with that little fix. I fixed something right there. Tell me how I sound. But
you sound good to me. You sound really good to me.
Weird. Yeah. The whole thing is super bizarre. The whole thing is like, it's just like, I don't know what Genshin is thinking, because it's like you have such an unbelievably loyal customer base, and like we said, they made $2 billion. like I would be holding on to that customer base. I'd be like doing anything that it possibly could to keep those people happy.
My wonder is though, is because it's going to be like a turn-based game and like maybe a different art style. Well, not art style, but like it's going to be more futuristic because it's literally like planet hopping. I don't know exactly. Are they just building that to compete,
like,
or not compete, but like work beside it?
Yeah, like it's like one of those things where, you know, how much money have people spent on Genshin, wishing and stuff? Thousands, right? A lot of people. I mean, that's the whole point of a gacha game. It's like gacha, you're addicted, and you're gonna become a whale, right? Not everyone, obviously, but then it's like you have quite a sunk. There's a bit of a sunk cost fallacy, but it's like I've spent $3,000 trying to get Klee or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then you wonder, like, is that person gonna basically be almost like stuck in that game? Like, well, I finally got my Klee, I have my characters, like, I'm not switching, I'm not going to a new game.
Right. Yeah.
Like, those people, I wonder if they're like, if now it's like they're so entrenched that they're not gonna be willing to start again with a brand new game.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Also, thank you all for the members and donations today. We see you guys popping off in the chat. So let's move on. We talked about some New Worlds from MiHoYo, but New World is actually popping off right now. On Steam, it is still doing like amazing. I'll look it up right now on Steam charts and see where it's sitting, but it was sitting really high. Oh my God. Wow. It is still doing so good. 542,000 concurrent players, 739,000 on the 24-hour peak. That is very good. That's very, very high. We'll see after a couple of weeks. I know it's still kind of honeymoon. People are enjoying it, but that is a very big amount. But you have to remember, it isn't on console. It's only on Steam. So it might not be as impressive as you think, right?
Well, I mean, okay, so 700,000 people is how many people are playing Trials in Destiny across all platforms. So, I mean, that is very impressive, right?
Yeah, that's big.
That's a big number.
And it's concurrent. It's concurrent, and they're probably playing for like 10 hours.
Oh, yeah, because it takes another 10 hours just to get into the game, apparently, after you wait. Or is that subsided?
I mean, I didn't have any queue this morning.
Okay.
But does that mean that there's less players now? You know, like, is it dying off?
You're addicted, so much so that you've started your 12th channel.
Yes.
about it. I've, on the outside, like I said, I don't want to melt my computer. In fact, I've heard even more reports of New World like destroying people's PCs. And like someone has sent me a video recently on Twitter. They're like, so they were playing New World and they're like, there was smoke coming out of their GPU. The GPU was smoking. I was like, Jesus.
Really?
Yeah. I obviously don't know 100% if that's New World, but like definitely. Even someone in the chat, like, bro, I don't want to play, but I don't want my 3070 to explode. I mean, that's a legitimate concern. I got blue screened the first time ever when I was playing New World, and Paul Tassi got blue screened from New World too. So, like, dude, I don't know what this game is doing to people's computers. Like maybe there'd be 1 million people playing if their computers weren't spontaneously combusting when they tried to chop down some trees, right? Like, I don't know. But that's something that, to me, that's the reason I'm not playing. I'm like, I can't risk playing New World and my computer lighting on fire.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how big the problem is long term, and it depends on which cards you have and all that stuff. And people keep asking me, like, if I play this game, will my computer blow up? The thing is my answer is, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure, and I don't want to bait you one way or the other because, I'm having a lot of fun with the game. But, like, even the thing is the game is really popular, but my question is it partially the social aspect? I'm in a clan with Gathalion, Dr. Lupo, Frostbolt's in it, Glad's in it. I'm playing with all these people that I know in the community and through content, and it's a bunch of friends playing. We're fighting in these big wars together, defending cities. Well, the other people that are playing New World on our server, they're not defending the cities because we're all doing it, right? So it's like they don't get to experience that the way we are. And, is the game as fun if you don't own the cities in the towns and you haven't pooled your money together to buy it?
I can imagine playing with like Dr. Lupo and Glad and Gathalion is a little bit more fun than like playing by yourself,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, is the experience for a solo player much different? And there is some janky stuff in it. Like some of the cooldowns not working and abilities like not working properly. You know, you place down an ability that's supposed to be like a duration and then it just disappears and it's like, okay. And like there is so many janky things in the game. Like I've got like this ice ability. It's like an ice orb that's doing damage. If enemies are on any sort of bridge or raised thing, it just doesn't do damage. It just doesn't trigger properly. And so I don't know if this game will last long term, and it kind of depends on the end game, but I am having fun. I'm having a lot of fun. It seems like a lot of people are addicted. Mr. Fruit is like, I'm hopelessly addicted. Like, I can't stop playing, and I'm not even making content on the game. And even me, I did make a channel, New World Tips. I made a couple videos, but I kind of felt like if I make videos, is it going to ruin the magic? Is it going to ruin... I'm having fun. I'm exploring this world. Is it going to ruin that special feeling?
Think of everything through the guise of content.
Exactly. And so part of me is like, I think I want to just enjoy this one. I haven't played an MMO in ages. I mean, when WoW Classic came out, I played it and I really enjoyed it early on, and I quit because I was like, I'll get so addicted to this one. Yeah. But I haven't played it in a long time.
That's part of the reason I'm not playing New World 2. It's like, brother, like I'm not gonna like, if I'm addicted to New World, I gotta wake up in the morning to go and grind Grandmaster Nightfalls and then make a guide. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be motivated to do that.
No, I mean, the answer is you won't. You won't. Yeah. You're gonna be playing 24/7 because it's got that magic right now. It's got that early game MMO. Everyone's exploring, and I think it's pretty fun. But again, I don't know the longevity. I don't know about it.
Get these PC issues like that. I mean, if they said, "Hey, we fix it," and we know it's been a week, 0 issues with PC, maybe I would get it. But also, then you have a game like this where I think a lot of people are in the same boat, where it's like, well, did I miss the boat already? It's like everyone's ahead of me. I'm gonna start at level 1, right? And you've been chopping trees for 8 hours. Now I'm gonna have to chop trees for 8 hours, but then I'm not even gonna catch up because you're gonna keep chopping trees for 8 hours. Like, I'm just perpetually gonna be behind, so I never get to play with my friends.
Right. I guess that is one of the things, because like some people are level 60 already. Like, they're already maxed out, and even me, I'm level 40, 45, and so I've got a lot of leveling to go. And it's taken me I've played for a few days worth of gameplay already since it launched. Like, in a week, I've already put in days of playing.
Literally.
But also, you have to remember, with the queue times early on, some people took a long time to get into the game. Like, they'd come home from work, and the queue time would be 4 hours or 3 hours. And it's like, well, I guess I'll play for an hour and go to bed. So I think there is a large population that is still just really getting into the game. And I think there's a lot of people that were kind of waiting on the sidelines to see. But I want to see in a month's time what that population looks like and the player base looks like. If it stays where it's at, I mean, that's I think a very big success. Honestly, overall, I think Amazon is probably going to be happy with how New World is doing. And viewership on Twitch is pretty high, and so.
I mean, that was their last chance. Like, dude, Crucible was such a disaster. It came out. I think I played it with you. You had a sponsored video, and I was just playing with you for the heck of it. And it was okay. We had some fun. Like, it's like hard to like not have fun in a video game. Like, it's gotta be pretty bad to not have fun in a video game.
Yeah.
But like, it was like kind of fun. And I was like, all right, that's like, I don't think I'll play it again, but it was all right. And then it famously went from beta, and then they put it back in alpha. And like, no game's ever done that before, where they're like, actually, we're just gonna put this back into alpha state. And then they just cancel it all together. Like, you know what? Screw it. So like, alpha to beta, back to alpha, canceled.
Yeah,
like,
they fully canceled the game now, and it's like, okay,
not a good look. And then the Lord of the Rings MMO, which a lot of people were looking forward to, they completely canceled that. Which, looking at things now, is even more surprising, because it's like, hold on, you just released a successful MMO in New World. Why did you cancel Lord of the Rings? You probably could be learning a bunch of lessons from New World, from the New World devs, in like to make the Lord of the Rings MMO as good as possible. Like, you're how much data and important lessons that you're learning from New World right now that could apply to a different MMO. Like so many. So it kind of is even more surprising that they outright canceled that game.
Mm-hmm. The one thing, I mean, I think they had like issues with Tencent, wasn't it? Like some like they had part ownership and there was some issues with negotiations there or something. I can't quite remember the main reason it got canceled, but the one thing I'll say about New World is it does feel like even on launch a little dated. Like just some of the combat abilities and like a little clunky and like it doesn't the combat is fine, but there's some hit registration issues with multiple different projectiles and some of the enemy the enemy animations, like it's super dated feeling, but it's still so addicting. It's like when will they come out with an MMO that feels great and has this addiction factor? It will run the world. Like again, I honestly think it has that potential to be that genre that consumes everyone again. But it seems like they're still behind on the times for some reason. I don't know what they need to innovate.
Maybe it's just because it takes so long to develop these like sprawling games that it's like by the time it comes out, it's already dated.
Yeah, true. It is. That is true. Or game can't run properly. They like for everyone if they make it too good or like too flashy. I guess I don't know. Lost Ark got delayed, or not delayed, but like. Well, sorry, it did get delayed, but the game has been out in other regions. It's the localization here, and that one looks really cool. But it's more like a Diablo type MMO. Like it's an ARPG.
But like a full MMO.
Yeah, it's considered an MMO. But my big bet, and actually Mr. Fruit's big bet too. We were talking about this. Riot Games League of Legends MMO, because if you look at what they've done with League of Legends, kicked ass. Then they made Teamfight Tactics. Kicked ass. Like Teamfight Tactics, really well done, good UI, all the stuff. They made a card game, really good card game. Like it truly is a great card game. And like they nailed it. They didn't half-ass it. And then they've done Valorant, completely different genre, and they truly have nailed it. So my guess is if they do an MMO,
I think they're the model for what Bungie wants to be.
Here's our IP. We take it to other places.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, Bungie is a pretty big company, pretty big name. They could definitely branch out, and they've got the money now. Like they're starting to get the money. Maybe not League of Legends level money, but it's getting up there. League of Legends makes buku bucks, and same with Epic Games. Like they've made so much money, but they're not like they just do Fortnite. I'm surprised that they haven't branched out into some other teams.
A bunch of like Epic Games partners like today, like
right?
Darkness and it was like I'm an Epic Games partner. I'm like, what Epic game is coming out?
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Wonderlands? Is it you gonna play Wonderlands? Like probably, I guess. Like I don't.
Yeah, or Fortnite will keep expanding. Maybe, honestly.
Yeah.
What if they made a Fortnite MMO of some sort? I mean, not building, but like in the engine, free to play. Because think, they've got the wood cutting, they got the base building, they've done different rarities of weapons, add some passives on it. They did that whole PvE thing. What if they turned that into an MMO?
MMO? No, I don't think so. I think what's more likely is like an Overwatch style like arena shooter with like different characters. You have like the banana guy. Has his different abilities. He can like throw banana peels and you slip, and then you have like all these different like all those kind of characters that they've made and developed in Fortnite. They all have like different abilities and so on. I think that would be.
Yeah.
There's $1 million idea. I'll be expecting some back end revenue from that.
Yeah.
But speaking of revenue, the biggest topic by far today, I think, is definitely like the Twitch, dude. Like Twitch at this point is nearly sponsoring the podcast every week. Basically, Twitch will do something so outrageous, so ridiculous, right? And this, I guess they didn't necessarily do anything this time, but Twitch got hacked, and it was a massive hack. So they basically stole like the Twitch source code. So they have like basically all the information about Twitch you could possibly like need or want. And so obviously all the Twitch streamers have gone and changed their passwords and so on. But yeah, like I mean, especially like how long has it been out before they sat on it and stuff like that? So did they steal anyone's information? Well, they did steal, and the big thing is that they know like how much money people are making off Twitch. So like someone compiled a list of like the top 100 earners, and yeah, so that's been a big topic of conversation today.
Yeah, everyone's been saying what their number is. Like, oh, I'm number 31. I think Dr. Lupo said, no, number 31. And it's not 100% accurate because like Shroud, people like Gathalion that went to Mixer, Ninja went to Mixer, like their numbers aren't going to be accurate because they have like big Fortnite numbers and all that stuff, but then they were gone for a year.
None of those numbers are accurate because they're only subs.
Mm-hmm.
They don't include donations, and they don't include bits, and they don't include ad revenue. So if you're mad and jealous about those numbers, they're even lower than they are in reality. Those are like a fraction of what they're earning. Well, I guess that's the before tax money too. So take 40% off or whatever.
Yeah.
Of that revenue also.
But like some of them, oh god, even like Lupo, he's number 31 on the list or whatever, and it says he made like, I can't remember, like 2 million. I guarantee he probably made 4 from sponsorships and YouTube and all that other stuff on top of it. Like some of the sponsorships those guys are getting, like the guys that got flown out to play Apex, some of them got $1 million to play Apex for a week.
Ninja did, yeah.
$1 million for one sponsorship. And so not all of them are going to be that big, but Lupo, they flew him out for Intel. Like Intel was doing like a big thing with him, and so some of these streamers,
Intel's not paying like $30 and some free snacks, right?
Yeah,
like, Intel is paying a degree of magnitude of money, and it's going to be good money, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's wild because apparently they got hacked on October 1st, and they did a tweet about it. A few days after all the Facebook stuff was going on, they're like, wow, must suck, Facebook. And it's like, you just got hacked. Like, you just got all of your information stolen. They've got the source code. Like, someone's going to copy and paste and make, like, twinge.tv and have, like, your entire website and everything about it, like, copy-pasted, bro.
I bet YouTube streaming downloaded that leak just in case, just to compare notes.
Yeah, they're like, okay, let's see what you got going on here.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So, but obviously, like, this earning has caused a lot of kerfuffle within the community. Our boy, well, the Destiny boy, Grenadier Jake, is in there at like number 64, 63 or something.
Yeah, I
Grenadier
can't remember.
Jake's getting paid, dude, and good for him. Like, I didn't expect that. I was like, sheesh, I should reach out to Grenadier Jake more often. Like, goddamn. But I was like, it's interesting. I didn't think he got paid that much. And again, this is no shade at all, but it's just like, I didn't think he got paid that much. But then if you think about it, it's like that dude is playing trials every goddamn weekend. He's there playing trials every single weekend for like a ridiculous amount of time per day as well. And he's very, very good at it. Like, if you get carried by Grenadier Jake, your chances of going flawless are very, very high, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, he's just been on the absolute grind, and it's like, when a lot of other people have kind of like left, he's just still been there. So it's kind of interesting. Like, his success is perhaps indicative of Destiny's success. Like, where you kind of like, it's like a sleeper game. Like, everyone memes on Destiny for being dead, but clearly there's a community that is alive enough to get Grenadier Jake and other streamers, Glad was on the top 100 list as well, like, up to these positions, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's clearly not like a dead game or a dead community.
I feel like for the size of the game, it has some of the most full-time content creators. And like some definitely fall off, but like, like there was like you, me, Dado, Willis, Grenadier Jake, Glad. Like the number is just, there's got to be like 200 people that are full-time. Well, maybe not 200, but like a lot of people full-time covering Destiny, making videos or streaming. And
I mean, like, but also thankfully, especially now, it can support a lot of content. Like, I mean, before, do you remember when Destiny 1 first came out and the armor like was you'd get high mobility armor or high recovery armor or like high whatever else? I don't know. Like, there's 3 different types of armor. Mm-hmm. And that was it. And the raid armor was exactly the same. The raid armor was no different than the other armor. Like your crucible armor was the same as the raid armor, exactly the same, other than appearance. So like, how could you make builds back in the day? You couldn't, dude.
No.
It was either like you make like guides and informative videos, or you clickbait the database, right? That was all you did. But now you can actually make builds, and there's different guides, and there's all this crazy. So I feel like there's actually a wealth of content that can support a lot of content creators, which is good generally.
Mm-hmm. There's actually like a famous clip. It's gone now, unfortunately, because I deleted all my clips. But there's like a famous clip. I ended up, when doing it, I think I only got weapons throughout like all of the dungeon for the raid the first time through.
Leviathan?
Yeah, I think I only got him, and then I think the armor piece that I did get was like the cape or the cloak or whatever. So I didn't see any of the armor, and I got to the final chest, and I got a chest piece. And
I remember this.
I looked at it, and you can just see my face drop because I was like, "Oh, I got a chest piece!" And then I see that it's exactly the same as my Crucible armor, and I actually infuse it into my Crucible chest piece because it was like a recovery one. And I was like, oh my God, the game's gonna die. And I just say that, and the clip ends, and it's like, oh my God, because they just didn't have any gear in Endgame. And I mean, that's a whole another rant, but imagine how big Destiny 2 could have been if it was now. The quality of the content now.
100%.
But it'd be huge. It would be like New World, how it's popping off right now. It would be so big. Shroud and Asmongold would be like, all right, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this now.
You might, like certainly it couldn't have possibly launched worse than it did but like perhaps the reason it was so successful at launch was potentially because it was so casual friendly that anyone could get into it. Like maybe, but then that's why you had such a sharp drop off. But also I feel like I don't think it's possible for them to be in the position they are now. Like they needed to learn those lessons. They needed to learn that you can't go too casual. Right, you can't eliminate all the complexity of a game, or it just like there's no reason to play it. And I think like clearly there were developers who did not know that. They thought the opposite, and these people got put in their place very quickly because the stats like just didn't lie. It was pretty catastrophic. But like, so I feel like that lesson is so important to learn that we'll never like make that mistake again. Thank goodness. Mm-hmm. Not to say that certain things can't be streamlined and made a little easier. Right, but like to devoid complexity is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Now, Battlefield beta.
Oh
wait,
hold on.
You got something? Hold on. What?
I want to talk about the streamers a little bit more because it's just like it's really funny. Like you kind of have a lot of different reactions to this. Dude, a lot of people are like, "Go stream, like get the bag." You know, a lot of people are like upset. Like, look at this top 100 list. It's like the same people we always see, type of thing. It's like I got a lot of reactions. Some people are like, "Wow, they're massively overpaid." Like, I can't believe it. So it's just like kind of drummed up a lot of stuff, and it's also like kind of you got to feel a little sorry because it's like there's just streamers doing their thing, and they weren't like planning on sharing that information, and now it's out. It's like, all right, well, here's how much I make. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. And it's like you can find literally everyone on the list. There's the top 100 list, but you can find every single person, what they make. So
if they release a bottom 100, that's where they're gonna find me.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm higher than I thought, but I haven't made that much on Twitch. I actually, a lot of the time, don't have a very big sub count. I've taken huge breaks on Twitch, and like there's been a time where I did have 10,000 subs when they did that crazy gifted sub thing with Twitch. And with Genshin, like there were times when I did have 3,000 subs. But right now, I think I'm sitting at 700. And so it's like, depending on your audience and how much money they have, and if they want to gift subs, it's almost like a gacha game. Like you need some whales in your community gifting subs all the time. If you look at some of those streamers, they've got some people that have like gifted 1,000 subs or like 1,500 subs in their chat. Like I know Grenader Jake has a few people that have gifted like 1,000 or even 2,000 subs over the course of time. So it's like, I mean, his number's really, really high, but a lot of it is coming from a few really heavy hitters.
Like Jeff Bezos is a big Grenader Jake fan.
Right? Right? Like, how do you know that like Ryan Reynolds isn't watching your Fortnite videos and like giving you 50 subs?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just very interesting though because it's like again, there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, they're overpaid," but it's also like, listen, it takes a hot minute to get there, right? Like Grenadier Jake was grinding on Xbox, right? He was on Xbox for the longest time and stuff, like, and he was here since Destiny 1, right? Just grinding. And these are like the past 2 years of revenue. Like, you've got to like for myself personally, dude, I was making like Modern Warfare 2 videos like 9 years ago, right? Like, I didn't make any sort of actual money until like only a few years ago. So you've got to basically not get paid for like 5 years to eventually stumble across success. And that's another thing. Like, these are the top 100. There is so many Twitch streamers. There are thousands and tens of thousands of streamers on Twitch that are not getting anywhere near that amount.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, there's a funny comment, or not a funny comment, an interesting comment from a guy named Dustin in chat, and he said, "Get that bag, but also I'm not giving any millionaires any more money." And I wonder how many people are like, "Well, the cat's out of the bag. Now is my audience not going to sub as much or gift as many subs?" That like absolutely could be a thing. Maybe people wise up and they're like, "Oh wow, these people are more wealthy than I thought."
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
It's like it's interesting that that's such a good point, Tash. Like that, like, because it's, you genuinely, like, what's gonna happen? Because on the one hand, and I say this, and I don't think any Twitch streamers would disagree with me. Well, I think all the genuine Twitch streamers wouldn't disagree with me. You should not be donating or gifting money or buying subs if you can't afford it. If you have to pay rent, pay rent. Like, don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, clearly, I hate, I'm just using him as an example. It's like, clearly, Grenadier Jake doesn't need your $100 that day if you are short on rent. And I think Grenadier Jake would be the first one to tell you the same darn thing. So there is absolutely, like, unhealthy obsessions with, and you see this with streamers. Like, I remember, like, the Pokimane situation. I just bring her up because I remember the there was comments under her, like, tweet, and it was like people replying and being like, "I donated $1,000 and you didn't see it," or something, and someone's like, "Oh bro, like, I donated 500. Wife's gonna be furious we can't go on a vacation, but like, you gotta be part of the Poke gang," or something.
Right.
And I was like, bro, like, take your wife for vacation. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, what kind of parasocial BS is this, man?
Oh, like, dude, don't donate money you don't have, like, obviously. But at the same time, I say all of that. At the same time, though, if you also think about it, you donate $5 a month to Grenadier Jake or to whoever. Like, that's not that much money. A lot of people can't afford that. And you might be like, "Oh, Grenadier Jake's getting a bag," but think about the bag that you're getting in return in terms of, like, endless content. Like, how much do you pay for cable? Like, $60 a month, more, something insane like that. Like, a lot of people are gonna watch streamers more than they watch cable TV, right? More than they do a lot of stuff. I mean, how much does it cost to go golfing, for God's sakes? Like, a ridiculous amount of money, right? So, like, in that perspective, you might be making someone rich, but that someone, if you're getting entertainment from that, if you're like, "I can watch this dude for 4 hours and it's a blast and it's fun and there's epic moments and I enjoy that time," it's like, that's worth $5 a month. Like, are you serious? That's not, dude. A movie, you go to a movie, it's like $15 and the movie might suck, right? Like,
or like, you go to an NFL game, and it's like, those guys are all millionaires and you're paying them, or an NBA game, and it's like,
way more to go.
Are you not going to go see Justin Bieber concert because, like, it's like, he makes too much money? Like, I'm not doing it anymore.
To get Justin Bieber tickets, it's like hundreds of dollars. That's like you could be subscribed for an entire year and it's going to cost less than a concert, right? And so from that perspective, it's like you are getting a good exchange of value. Like, yes, you're making someone very wealthy, but it's like they are entertaining you. I think it's like one of the most cost-effective forms of entertainment out there. Like, and the thing is, you don't have to pay. Like, you can watch and enjoy Grenadier Jake or whoever without paying a dime. Like maybe someone gifts you a sub, but you don't ever have to pay. You can watch, my YouTube videos, your YouTube videos, and like, yeah, an ad might pop up for 15 seconds. Like that's the worst it's gonna be. It's a 15-second unskippable ad, right? People get so upset about that, but it's like, dude, go watch traditional TV. There is like a 3-minute ad block in the middle, and you're not going anywhere. It is like 3 minutes of ads nonstop, right? So it's like you're getting like such a good value on entertainment. It's unreal.
Yeah, go watch any sport and just how much time is downtime where nothing is happening, you're just looking at ads. The thing is for me, I'm always very open about like finances. It's like, hey, I'm doing this sponsorship so you don't have to sub to me. Like it's not your job to pay my bills, and maybe that's partially why my sub count is never like this crazy thing, because I always like talk it down. I'm like, guys, like don't like stop subbing, like seriously, because I also don't like the idea of only being a streamer and my revenue being tied to other people paying my bills. Let the big companies pay my bills. Let the ad revenue pay my bills. I hate the idea that if people are going through a hard time and then they stop subbing, all of a sudden my revenue completely shifts. And it's like, that's kind of scary, and I can't budget for that, and I don't like that. So I'd rather go for the sponsorships, work on YouTube, and like, if I get more views, I make more money. So if I make better content, I cover popular games, I can kind of see that trajectory. But sometimes you have a day where people gift like 50 subs or 100 subs, your sub count goes up, but you never think, oh, that's going to go away next month. And so you're sitting there, and then you look over, and it's like, whoa, I'm down 400 subs? What the hell happened?
Yeah.
And it's like over the course of like 3 days, and it's like, what the hell just happened? That's $1,200 that just went like MIA that you can't account for.
Yeah, and the big thing again though is it's optional. Like you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to donate. You can sit there for free and enjoy the content, and a lot of people do. And you're still helping that streamer out with watching ads or just engagement, and you're making that view count go up, and that's going to get them more sponsorships too. So like people shouldn't ever feel like they're like they have to subscribe, or that they should feel ashamed or bad for not subscribing or whatever. And like the paid subscription service, like that should always be like pretty optional. And then usually though, when you do see a streamer, like there's been a couple times where streamers have been like, can't you afford $5 or whatever? Like I think maybe you saw the one clip. Those people get roasted, right? Roasted.
Yeah.
So, and because that's not the right mentality to have.
No, it isn't. And like you can't take your audience for granted either. Like if you spend time sitting in my stream and chatting, you're amazing. Like I appreciate you so much. You're pushing me up in the numbers. You're keeping chat going. You're giving me content to talk about if you ask a question here and there. Like without the viewers, you're nothing. And so you're not entitled to that.
There's like 417 people here that you guys, this is like a random, middle of October stream. We were missing a person, you know what I mean?
Like think about how many people 400 people is. Like that's a school, depending where you live. Like that's like a whole high school for some people, or like an auditorium full of people. Like it's crazy.
That's another kind of big like misunderstanding, is like I think people, if you're not in this space, you look and you're like, that's a ridiculous amount of money. Or like people hear how much people get for sponsorships, and they're like, that's a ridiculous amount of money, right? But it's like, it's really not, because a billboard, to put your ad on a billboard, it's like, depending on where the billboard is, it's like $15,000, $20,000, $50,000. How much does it cost to put your ad in Times Square? A ridiculous amount of money. Now, how many people are going to actually walking around Times Square going to see that ad and be like, oh, I'm going to call that number right now. Geico, save 15% or more on my car insurance. Don't mind if I do, right? Like, I don't understand. Driving down a highway, I see a billboard. Like, I'm going to stop. Let me just pull over and write down this number so I can. Do you have mesothelioma? Oh shit! Let me call this guy. You know what I mean? Like, that traditional media still gets paid millions and millions of dollars for one ad in a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And certainly there's going to be a lot of eyeballs there. Super Bowl is maybe a bad example because people like are expecting great commercials, but like billboards are the best example. Dude, like you're probably gonna have, if you had like, if you sponsored, I mean, I think I did a sponsorship on on the like DPS weapon when I was comparing the Cartesian, where I kind of discovered that the Cartesian had, at least on my tests, like it was the best DPS I could get, right? It was unbelievable DPS. That video has like 200,000 views, and I did like a sponsorship on that. So it's like, I'm only taking like, 60 seconds of people's times, and they can always fast forward. Like, you can't fast forward TV unless you've pre-recorded it, but with a YouTube video, you just fast forward if you don't want to watch it. That's totally fine. But it's like, that sponsorship has been exposed to 200,000 plus people. Like, how many people are going to like see this billboard, right? Yeah. And I guarantee I got paid a fraction of what it costs to put up on a billboard. So it's like, there's still a difference between traditional media and the numbers. You'd be surprised, like compared to traditional media, the numbers are low, way lower than they probably should be. Just eyeballs to eyeballs. If we're just comparing eyeballs, like it's very different.
And I did the math on my scuff code back in the day, like based on my commissions, and I generated like $300,000 in revenue for them. And they paid me peanuts. Like, I got commissions. They didn't even pay me. So it's like, if I'm promoting a product and people are using my code, like 300 grand in revenue, and like the PC company, like Zydax that I was with, I think theirs was like $400,000 in revenue or something like that in a year. And it's like, they paid me peanuts compared to that even. Like, they came out so far ahead, it's not even funny. If they paid me 50 grand, they'd still be winning. And they didn't pay me that. I'll tell you that much. They didn't pay me that. And so it is really crazy how those sponsorships play into things, and they do pay a lot, but they get a lot of value for it.
And it's also like, it's weird, man, because it's like, you do have a lot of people getting like upset and kind of like jealous, and which is like fine. It's like, it is like, all right, a streamer, Tommy Innit or whoever, is playing Minecraft all day, and I'm a Navy SEAL and I get paid a fraction. You know what I mean? It truthfully, you're like, look at that, you're like, what the hell, right? And that doesn't seem fair. Like, it doesn't. But again, like, his viewers, it's just completely determinant of the market. Like, he's got to stream a certain type of content, people go and then voluntarily decide to donate, to sub, all that stuff. Like, he doesn't have a set salary at all. It just is a way of the market. And also, it's like, the people that you're watching, even if you're watching someone, they're some of the most successful streamers ever, because most of them, your average streamer gets barely any views, like 10, 20, 25 viewers, like maybe, right?
And so if you think, like, you see those numbers, you're like, well, I'm going to start streaming. Okay.
Bro,
go do it.
Like I said,
try.
5 years.
It's brutal.
5 years, no revenue from YouTube. Maybe like the bare minimum, like enough to buy some McDonald's sometimes, right? Like, before you actually start making some real stuff. So it's like, most other jobs, they're going to give you a salary right away. YouTube's like, we owe you nothing. In fact, you have to get like 4,000 hours watched total to even be monetized. So if you don't get like 4,000 hours of watch time, we won't even consider paying you, right? Yeah. It's like, what other job does that? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, you got to put in some major time to build anything. Someone said, should I consider streaming? Honestly, I've said it multiple times. Most people say it. No, don't consider streaming. Consider YouTube and making content on YouTube, because there's at least a search algorithm. But if you think you're going to stream Warzone with 0 viewers and build a brand, it is literally impossible. The only way and new streamers pop off is because they played with someone that gave them viewers, they view bought, or they have like YouTube or some other exposure some way. It's literally impossible to start a stream right now and start on Warzone or a game like that and get viewers. You will not do it.
Do something else. Like with the Call of Duty example, you have to go out and you have to be so good that you're winning tournaments. And then you start streaming and you say, oh, yo, that guy that took down the last tourney, that won the $50,000 tourney, he's just started streaming. And then you'll get some word of mouth, and maybe you'll get 100 viewers from that, right?
Or you're like you kill Tfue. Like oh, Tfue's in a tournament and I killed him. Like, that's the only way if you're just going for gameplay. And if you don't have a camera, if you don't got the best quality, if your audio is like scuffed, You're done. You will
Oh,
not
do
win.
you know how many YouTube videos started? Oh, hey guys, we're gonna channel.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, I can't hear a word you're saying. You know what is actually interesting? On that note, like I remember playing Black Ops 3, where you could have custom, like emblems, right? So beside your name, you could make your emblem, right? So people would have like silly stuff for like you know, people would say type out stuff like send nudes or like you mad bro and stuff like that. But so many people, because I played Black Ops 3 a decent amount actually, so many people had their YouTube channels. You'd be like youtube.com/ their YouTube channel, or like they'd make a little YouTube logo and they'd have their channel. And Tash, I'm telling you, I would go and check every single one of those people, and not a single one had a successful YouTube channel. Not a and they're all trying, but it was like they'd all given up too. Like no one had uploaded a video in the past week. It was like I remember one vividly because I thought it was so hilarious. I go to this guy, he takes the time to make his YouTube channel into his Black Ops thing. I go to his channel to see what's going on, and the last video from over a month ago was saying I'm gonna start uploading again, and that was his last. And so he makes this video. He's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start uploading. I'm back. Obviously, no one watched that video. He lost all motivation and then didn't do anything after that. I was like, that is what happens to a lot of people. Like, it's very hard to make any sort of success in the being a creator.
Yeah, it's hard to motivate yourself and push yourself, and like it is pretty demoralizing. But I do think that there is a bit of a formula, and like if you have if you have comparable mic, if you had this quality and you made daily videos that were good, like guides on a game, like if you started New World when it launched and you're making Mtashed quality videos every single time, I would say that the chances of succeeding are good. But no one can afford to have all that gear right at the start. No one has the time to make daily videos and grind the game because you have a job and a life. The barrier to entry is pretty high there. But if you somehow did, I don't think it's as impossible as people think. The impossible thing is having all of this time and the computer and a mic and cameras and lighting and all this time to just make content. Like bro, this guy beside me is grinding nightfalls every day. He's doing the raid. He's gaming Destiny so that he can make those videos and have all these guns to test to make all these rolls. Like, you just need
every single
time.
mod in the game just in case the build needs it, right? Like it's like I can't miss a single mod or else you're screwed sometimes. So it's crazy.
And I'll tell you, here's the thing though. And if you don't have time, something else falls off. And if you want some context, so it's like, well, I tried everything. No, you didn't. I'm going to tell you why you didn't try everything. I was a father at 17 or about to be a father at 17, right? I had a kid. I was in university, I worked a job, and I did YouTube, and I made it work. And, friendships, I think, did fall off. I didn't have time for friends, and I did gain some weight, and I don't have the same, like, hockey player body that I used to have. So things definitely fall off. But, like, kid, work, university, and built a channel, and I made it work. And I didn't sleep as much as I probably should have, but it's like, if you're not doing, if you're not sacrificing, it's going to be tough.
True, but also one more thing I think you forgot: luck.
Oh yes, I was given handouts along the way. People donated to me. People like Planet Destiny saw my videos and picked me up and was like, "Hey, make some videos for us." I grinded for a year or so before I got even that. But then after that, I went from 2,000 subscribers that I grinded 2 years for. I went from 2,000 to 10,000 in a week because of Planet Destiny. So it's like I had that handout. But also I made 90 videos before that, right?
For me, I was I was a dedicated Battlefield 4 YouTuber. I was doing nothing but Battlefield 4 until Destiny came out and I randomly decided to cover Destiny. It's like I could have easily just not done that, right? So it's all this crazy whirlwind of stuff you need to become successful. It's absolutely wild. So the people making the top, it does seem like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, but it's like these people have like absolutely been on the grind for literally decades, like a decade or more at this point to get to where they are. So you are seeing the absolute tippy top here. And like, which is obviously like, if you're going to make a list, you're going to compile the top. You're not going to be like, here's what the average streamer, I wish they would calculate all the things and say, here's the average Twitch revenue out of every single Twitch streamer, like here's what it is, because I think that number would be a lot lower than people expect.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's like a MLM. It's like, oh, these people all are making hundreds of thousands a month, and it's like, yeah, and most people are minus. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, it is what it is.
But we got to move on from there. Huge rant, but also a crazy, crazy story, and it's just like causing a lot of discussion in the community about like these streamers and all that stuff. And we're gonna have RGH After Dark, so you guys can ask us even more questions if you want. But the next topic is the Battlefield 2042. The beta is out. I played a little bit of it, and then I just got off because I was there's a lot of the Battlefield beta.
But you're so excited about this.
I was so excited for it, but there were some friends I wanted to play with. But neither of them, like, they're like, I can't even play. Like, this game is so poorly optimized, I can't play. That's according to them, right? I can play it. I had to turn the refresh rate down to 60, right? Like, I have a 165 hertz monitor. I was playing at 60 FPS in the game because I was like, if I go any more, it stuttered. Mm-hmm. I had to turn some settings down. It's like, I shouldn't be turning settings down. Like, my computer is, I mean, it barely survived a couple weekends ago, but it is like a beast computer. It should be able to handle any game, really. And like, so I have one guy who I play with quite a bit. He's actually gone to PS5, and he's like, it performs a lot better on the PS5.
Really?
Right? Just because they have like a set parameters, like this is what every PS5 runs the same, right? So I guess it's easier to optimize a version for the PS5. And so yeah, like I just was playing solo, and in Battlefield it's not that fun to play solo. Like you gotta play it with a squad where you can spawn off people. Those are the best moments. But I have been saying a lot of what am I saying? Sorry, I read this comment that was really weird.
Oh.
I've been a lot of comments. If you go to the Battlefield subreddit, it's like it's mostly negative. Like,
oh, is it?
Like,
I haven't even looked. I want to take a peek.
A lot of people are like not super thrilled. The game definitely does feel a little bit more on the arcade side. The realism is maybe a little bit less. Especially in the gun recoil, like you just have this gun and it's just like a laser beam, right? And Battlefield, if you go back to some of the older Battlefields, they did have a little bit more realistic feeling recoil. You did have to kind of like control the weapon a bit, but now it's like a little bit, people are getting mad at that. And also a lot of people are saying, because I think anyone can revive anyone, you just have to go up to them and like hold E, but no one does. Dude, I don't think they took the time to explain it to everyone, because like I've never been revived ever, not one time. Like teammates will run right next to you, no one revives you. And then I think another big complaint is they have the specialists, like they have basically like the Rainbow Six Siege operators, like where they all have their abilities. But here's the big problem. Rainbow Six they have certain operators as defender, right? And then they have certain operators on offensive. Battlefield doesn't have that system. Anyone can pick any operator. So a huge problem is, especially with these epic Battlefield battles, there's all this crazy stuff going around and a helicopter shooting a hole in the wall and you're freaking out. And you're seeing people on both teams that look identical. Mm-hmm. Identical. And the only difference is they have like a little dot above their head, either red or like blue. But it's like in the craziness of that, you can easily you can be confused by that. Like I have shot so many teammates that scare me coming around a corner. Like it's really hard to tell who's on whose team.
Is there friendly fire?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Because then it's going to be even worse.
But you also like you'll miss people. You'll be like, is that guy on my team? Especially like Battlefield, like someone will just parachute down into your like base, and you're like, "What the hell is this guy doing here?" But you think he's a teammate, and then he kills you, and you're like, "What the hell?" And then no one revives you, and you're like, "This is bullshit." So, definitely, like, I am not calling the game bad or anything, but the reception has not been as positive as I was expecting.
And are you upset? Like, are you like,
I really want to try it with a squad. I really do, because I feel like I never liked playing Battlefield solo, and so if I'm playing solo, like I'm not going to enjoy. I didn't enjoy almost any Battlefield solo. It just wasn't fun. You got to play as a squad, truthfully.
Yeah. And then
So-
we'll move on to the last topic here because I also want to see how
Well,
I want to see the open beta does, or the full beta.
The open beta is coming out in a couple of days. It'll be really interesting, but I saw a lot of comments all saying the same thing, which was, if this game got delayed for another year, I wouldn't be upset. A lot of people are like, we're willing to wait. They feel like the optimization isn't there. They feel like, some things need work, the sound design, so on. And they're kind of like, will this be ready in time?
Right.
And that is a major concern.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, if you rush it out, it will never be good. It will always be bad. It'll always feel rushed. So,
yeah. And so I hope it's good because I really enjoy Battlefield. I genuinely enjoy Battlefield. I want this game to be good. I really have to play it more to see.
Yeah.
So, but before we move on to the next topic, we got to thank our sponsor. Speaking of selling out and being paid, you guys thank our sponsor, Advanced GG. So listen, Advanced GG, best and only clinically proven gaming supplement out there, and they got a million flavors. I've got Cactus Kiwi Lime. He's got Mtashed Mango Splash. There is Frostbolt, Electric Berry. There is Sir Demetrius has like sour watermelon. Travel Danielle has strawberry banana. All the flavors are bangers. And guys, we're not gonna say, hey, this is a win-win, because if you use code RGH, we get some of that revenue. We get a little kickback, and then you guys get 10% off the base price. So everybody wins.
It's a big win.
And then it goes into an account that Mtashed is in charge of that we've never seen a dime from. So that's just what's going on.
Yep, and it's gonna stay that way most likely.
True, especially if you keep paying the editor.
Yeah, something that did change, big change. Gearbox has a new president.
Yeah,
Randy boys, Randy boys, MIA.
Randy, everyone's favorite thief / CEO / magician / curious boy.
Yeah, my question is, will Gearbox pull it together? Gearbox has been hit and miss. It's been a little sus. New president. We've got this new Tiny Tina's game. Looks really cool, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
I was hyped on the gameplay look. Will Gearbox turn it around?
We gotta stop. We gotta say, for those who don't know, who's Randy Pitchford? Well, Randy Pitchford. Let me tell you about Ray. So Randy Pitchford, CEO of Gearbox, did oversee the company during its heyday. Like, was there for Borderlands 2, and so on. So, like, that was, I think people view Borderlands 2 as kind of the pinnacle of the franchise. Borderlands 3, maybe not so much. There's not necessarily that much hate on it or anything like that, but you know what I mean? Randy was there for the good times. However, Randy was also accused of taking $55 million worth of revenue, like skimming it off the top for himself, in the sense that he promised the developers this is kind of all from memory, so if I'm wrong about any of this, I'm sorry, but so he basically promised to give bonuses to all of the developers for Borderlands 3 and then just didn't and kept all the money for himself.
Yeah.
Also infamously left a flash drive at a Renaissance fair, and someone found it, and it belonged to Randy, and they figured that out because it had a bunch of like super secret Borderlands files on it, and then also a bunch of porn on it. Like, it was
like a ton, like a terabyte of porn.
Like it was, and the excuse he used, man, I can't, we're gonna get demonetized if I go, but basically he's like, I saw this girl doing these things and I thought it was a magic trick, and me being a magician myself, I had to investigate this clip further, so I downloaded the video. It's like, dude, shut up, Randy, like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
So, did he get, and also, like, he didn't get along with, like, the actor who played Claptrap. They got into, like, a physical altercation at one point, I think. Holy crap, Randy, famous and infamous CEO. So him stepping down, yeah, like, again, he, like, at the end of the day, he was there for, again, some successful launches, but he was also there for some not so successful launches. So yeah, will him stepping down, like the next guy in charge, maybe he has some great ideas. So we could see Gearbox take a different direction, and that's pretty exciting. Like you said, there's the new Tiny Tina's games coming out. I got some Godfall DLCs coming out.
Oh, sheesh.
And I think Borderlands 3 is still being supported as far as I can tell. Like there might be some more kind of stuff for that as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But that's going to be it for the main topics tonight. If you guys have any questions in chat, we will sit around and answer a few of them. Thank you so much for watching this episode. It was pretty juicy. Episode 55. We do this podcast every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We talk about all sorts of gaming content and drama and streaming and YouTube and all that stuff. It's a good time. So if you haven't subbed, make sure to sub. Also, thank you so much for all the donations. Almost $100 in donations today. You guys are wild. And then some new memberships as well. Thanks for the memberships. We really, really appreciate it.
I'm seeing, it's kind of interesting. I see it we have a poll. Have you tried Advanced GG? And vast majority of people say no. Like, no. Like, so Advanced GG, we all sponsored by it because it comes in a little tub. A lot of people get like their little tub and they're kind of expensive. The Focus are, but the serving size is like maybe if you take out the like little scoop in there, Tash, the serving size is literally the tiniest thing ever. Because if you have a lot of people are like, oh, it's like why is it so expensive? It's so small,
it's
right?
A little scoop.
If you get a tub of G Fuel, it's this big because the serving size. You got to get a shovel. It comes with like an American Army emergency tool shovel for digging trenches. That's how you got to serve yourself G Fuel because it's all filler. So Advanced GG, it's just like it's the pure nectar of the gods. It's just like basically it gives you the energy that you need. A lot of vitamins in it, so you just pour it in, shake it up, and you drink it. And if you're someone who buys energy drinks like Monster, Red Bull, you're going to save a lot more money buying a tub of this and being able to make it yourself whenever you want than like having to go to the store and getting like a bunch of Monsters, a bunch of Red Bull, a bunch of all that stuff. And also, you put as much in as you want. So if you're like, yo, Red Bull is too intense for me, put in half a scoop, right? You know what I mean? Like you can, whatever you want. So it tastes great too.
Yeah. And like the nice thing is the blend is not proprietary. So that you can see the ingredients and everything on there. Where the other companies, it's like a secret blend. And it's like, well, I don't know what's in there. Ooh, I don't know.
Stuff, you
Baby
know what I mean?
jellyfish. Woo.
Someone said I want to answer a question. Someone said, Kackis, start streaming. I'm starting movement. Listen, Ricky Chan. We talked about this before. I am seriously, once I saw those Twitch numbers, I was like, I'm coming back, baby. Grenadier Jake, I'm coming for your spot. I'm just kidding. But I was like, you know what? I've been toying. I've been thinking. I'll tell you guys. I've been thinking about maybe doing like a once a week stream, like a Sunday stream, and just like do a little bit of raids, maybe like a couple of carries, and then test out some builds, test out some weapons, grind some grandmasters, kind of do whatever. This is just in the planning stages. I need to buy a big green screen. Where'd you buy yours, Tash? Yours from Elgato?
Elgato sent it to me.
Just send it to you. Hey, you might just slip into those Elgato DMs. I need a green screen behind me, and I need to figure out how the heck to stream again. I need to reinstall OBS and like get everything set up. But maybe we'll get a comeback. We'll see.
Do you think Halo's gonna be back on top? I don't know. Without a BR,
I'm hearing good things. And you know what? A lot of people are saying compared to, I just want to say, I actually have seen a lot of direct comparisons with the Battlefield beta. People saying the Halo beta, when I played it, so much more polished, good connections. It doesn't feel as janky. And then with this Battlefield, they're saying it just feels unfinished. Like, it's not necessarily bad, but you can tell it's like, all right, this needs some work. So definitely I've seen a lot of people comparing that. So that is going to be a factor for sure.
Yeah. I hope so. Going free to play, I think, is going to be good for getting some people in that have been pretty MIA from the series. But I don't know. Like, I haven't played it myself, so it's hard for me to say. I would love Halo to be doing well. I miss Halo for sure. But I'm wondering if it is a bit dated for like what the current kids want. Like they're like, we like Fortnite BR games, and is Halo just too slow for them? I mean, they've got sprinting and they've got the grappling hook, and like maybe.
I wonder. Yeah,
we'll see.
I wonder. That's a good question. Someone else said, "Are you gonna get those OLED switches?"
No.
Absolutely, yeah. I could literally do not care at all. I don't think I could physically care less.
No.
Like, because it's like the LED screen is only on the thing, so it's only in handheld mode. And if I'm playing at home, it's always like plugged into the TV. So
Yeah, I mean, I like my Switch for travel, but I don't need anything else. Like, I don't need anything more than what I already have.
yeah, it's like, oh, I can see this. I can see my Pokemon game getting barely 20 frames a second now with an OLED screen.
Yeah.
So I can see the frame stutters even better.
Here is a link if you want to become a member. Someone asked for it in chat. And you guys, there's enough members that it literally pays for the editor. Like, it's like almost 1-to-1, which is amazing. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, which is perfect.
As someone who's never played the older Battlefield games, 2042 has been enjoyable.
Yeah, interesting. Like, it's kind of an interesting thing. Like, maybe it's just because it's biased because a lot of people are like longtime Battlefield veterans, and a lot of these people were like literally playing Battlefield 4 like up to this release point. Like, these people are entrenched Battlefield veterans, so they have a certain ideas of how they think the stream or the game should go. So perhaps that's kind of a reason for the negativity I've been seeing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's just so many options out there that if you're not slaying it, like if you look at Apex and like the movement and the overall quality of Apex, it's like, well, if you're not doing that, why wouldn't you just play Apex? And if you're not an MMO type shooter like Destiny, like unless you're beating Destiny at that, why would you play a game like that? It's just, there's so many good options out there for so many different genres. You know, there's games like Hades, there's Darkest Dungeon, there's like very good roguelikes. There's Terraria and there's Minecraft. So what are you doing better than Terraria and Minecraft, right? Like,
well for Battlefield, it is like people call it like only in Battlefield moments for a reason. Like, not many games nail the like massive scale helicopters flying over, tanks, destruction and stuff. So that's kind of what they're really going for. At least that's what people want.
Right. Except Battlefield has been slowly on the decline, and people have been unhappy for like 2 launches now in a row.
Well, Battlefield 1 was very well received. I think people kind of got bored with it after but it was a commercial success, I think, because that competed with Infinite Warfare, and a lot of people hated that. Remember? Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, you guys are going forward in time, we're going back, and I think they did very well with that. And then Battlefield 5 was kind of a disaster. So
I think my biggest issue with Battlefield is I don't feel in control of the battle. It feels like even if you pop off,
mostly because you're not that good and you can't slay out like me. I will clear 60 people off a flag, no problem, baby. I have ended Battlefield games with hundreds of kills,
bro.
Easy.
There's no way you're better at FPS games than me. It's not even close.
Battlefield?
Give me a day. Give me a day, and I'll be better than you. We'll see on Friday. We're playing on Friday. We'll see.
I'm down.
We'll see. Now, yeah, we should honestly get a little crew together just so we can have an idea of how it plays in a group. Christopher, thank you so much again. My God, you're so generous. Thank you. Ghost Recon Frontline. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Frontline.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon, new BR game.
It was crapping on it, dude. Dude, there's so many dislikes. There's like more dislikes than one of my videos. I'm just kidding now. But like, the dislikes are like, oh my God. In the reveal trailer, it was like 7,000 likes, 30,000 dislikes or something like that. It's like, it's only like 30% liked. It could not possibly get worse.
Yeah. I wonder why.
So bad.
Why is everyone so mad about it?
Because, okay. All right. I'll tell you why, Tash.
Because they slapped Ghost Recon and everything.
Who the hell plays Ghost Recon? Honestly. No, like, genuinely. Who plays Ghost Recon? Like, people who like the tactical stuff. They like the strategy. They like, I feel like Ghost Recon is kind of a little bit more, maybe it's getting away from like the milsim now, but there's definitely always like a strategy aspect. And this just seems like they like slapped the Ghost Recon name onto a BR.
Yeah, 3,000 likes, 11,000 dislikes right now.
That's not good, dude. That's not good, brother. Holy crap.
Listen to these comments. Another franchise bites the dust. The Ubisoft formula: chase trends but fail to innovate.
Yep.
Imagine being this out of touch with your audience.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh man.
Oh my god. Like it is like, but it is true. Like the people who okay. Tash, here's the thing. Like you mentioned earlier, there's all these different games to play. So you're choosing to play Ghost Recon Wildlands. All right, you're one of the 12 people playing that game. I'm just kidding, but like that means you chose to play that over Fortnite, over Warzone, over Apex Legends. Like, if you really liked BRs, you'd already be playing a freaking BR game.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it really is just taking a BR and like slapping Ghost Recon on it to give it some brand recognition. But it's like that's just not gonna vibe with the people who play Ghost Recon.
I feel like there's like 80 Ghost Recon games. Like, if anything, it's like muddled down. Like, I don't care.
They came up with like Wildlands and like
they've all kind of sucked, right? And so people are like, "Uh-oh, it's a Ghost Recon game. Better avoid it."
I don't think it's necessarily sucked. Apparently, like some of the comments, like Ghost Recon Wildlands is a really great co-op game, right? But they haven't been like
but like Division like has had big problems. Like I think it's a good game, but like it's just like I think people think, oh, there's Tom Clancy again. Here we go.
Well, yeah, hold on.
But at the same time, Ubisoft has.
I'm gonna look up what kind of Ghost Recon games are coming out.
Like they've got Rainbow Six.
Yeah, they're coming out with one every like 2 years.
I feel like we just had one.
And that's what I'm saying. Okay, wait. Okay. The newest one is Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Didn't even hear about that.
I think I've heard about this. I think I remember this, but I feel like Breakpoint, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like a glorified Wildlands. Like Breakpoint, yeah, it's from what I'm seeing, huge map. And then Wildlands, people are saying it's a banger. That was the first time they did Ghost Recon, and Ghost Recon Wildlands was in 2017. Okay, so Ghost Recon Wildlands was like open world. Mm-hmm. That's when they started to do the Ghost Recon open world thing, and then Breakpoint came out in 2019, and then Breakpoint is another kind of open world game, it looks like, but like in a kind of a different area.
Did you?
But it's like, how is this different than Far Cry though? I'm sorry, but it's like every Ubisoft game is like massive open world, and then just like go to each enemy base and take them out one after the other. I don't know. I just like.
I was actually going to talk about that. Like we didn't even talk about Far Cry, but did you see the reviews? Like the guy is like, I refuse to finish this review. Like I refuse to play the game anymore. He's like, I'm not doing this again. He's like, I go to each place, I'm leveling up town, like all my little things. He's like, I'm not doing this again. Like if Far Cry has no innovation, I'm done. And didn't even finish. He got 4 or 5 hours in and was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I refuse. And
yeah, I saw that.
That's like a lot of the people are like, why are we even doing this again? It just feels the exact same. At this point, make a Far Cry movie because some of the villains are really cool, and just like show me all the cutscenes because I would like to see that. I want to see what Voss is doing, but I don't want to go to every single thing, shoot a couple guys. All of a sudden, now I can sneak up from a distance and assassinate you and like get these little perks, but people just don't want to do it anymore. It feels like the exact same game.
Yeah, it really does. Like, I remember playing Fallout 2 when you were in like Africa, and it was the same thing. You were just going and eliminating the enemy bases one by one. Mm-hmm. And like, I remember playing that way back in the day. And it just seems like they have cool villains and they have some cool stories and stuff. And like, we're not disparaging anyone who plays those games, but it's like there doesn't seem to be like enough innovation from one game to the next.
Right. But this has been a very long episode. We're already at almost an hour and a half, so we should probably start cutting this bad boy off. Thank you again for listening to the podcast. Next week, we will have Ryan back. He just didn't have internet. He's completely blacked out where he's at and won't have it for a few days. Thank you again. I'm Mtashed.
I'm KackisHD.
And this is the RGH podcast every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to sub for more, and we'll see you soon.